Everyone, welcome to Football 81. Preliminary final day in Adelaide, and Paul Weston did the right thing for Glenelg and won the toss and kicked with the wind. We start our coverage at the start of play.
The preliminary final and the fight to see who plays Port Adelaide in next week's grand final. Glenelg have left Fred Phillips and Rady out of their 22 players. Their interchange players are Anderson and McGuinness, and they've won the toss, kicking to the southern end with a 4 to 5 goal breeze. Corns kicks off the deck into the forward pocket. Kernahan leads Noble. Kernahan, the hand pass back. Good kick comes in from Walter, who's lined up at full forward. Copping now, and Stephen Copping marking almost on the goal line. A good start for Glenelg. Good strong breeze, and they're straight into attack. The first half minute of the game, and Stephen Copping, the only forward they had last week, lines up. He's converted, and there's the first goal on the board to Glenelg with half a minute of play gone.
Oh, some surprise placements too in the bay side. We find the usual three inside the square. Corns' kick was long. Young Stephen Kernahan very quick, and Robbie Ward, what a return to the A-grade side. Watch Copping's position on the chest. The two defenders could do nothing. The kick was straight. Stephen Copping has opened very well after playing a very, very good game last week.
Peter Carey leading the rucks for Glenelg. Umpire Argent, he's joined today by umpire Schofield. Neither player able to get hand of ball. Turble's bundle out of the way. Carey the dribbling kick. Kick further afield by Painter, but in the way is Hughes for Norwood. Apparent that Graham, that Corns is lined up in the ruck roving well. The kick to Turble finds him at centre wing. And Norwood going into this stiff breeze first up. Rick Turble trying to get distance into the breeze. Half forward line, a wall of players up, Holst almost. Hartfield left it behind. Seabone's caught, and it's a bounce inside half forward for Norwood.
Conditions, overcast, the wind coming left to right on your screen, worth about 4 goals, and a massive players around this bounce. 3 McFarlane, Carey, very strongly positioned. Greg Turble scouting that punch beautifully, carried by Paul Weston. A tangle of players will see another bounce. Michael Aish, 1981, McGarry medalist, and what a brilliant youngster, and a terrific season he's had in 81. Michael Annie, 31, against Carey. The early rise has upset Carey. He gets the dribbling kick, but Corns brilliantly steals. Forwarded to Captain Weston. Trouble. Going down like 9 pins. The tackle is high. Tons of vigour at the moment. The two giants of the game, Carey and the big bear Button. It's going to be Weston's ball, though, at centre wing. Copping the lead. Ignored. Drop punt towards the half-forward position. Strongly to Kernahan. Brilliant mark. Young 20-year-old, well, she's got talent. Very wide. David Marshall, corner of the square. Easy mark. Had a good season, David Marshall. Small in stature, tons of courage, and kicks a long ball. Carey drifting down from the centre line. That's ignored. Low, screw punt. Travels a good 60 metres. A mass of players at the back win.
Goes for the safety of the boundary line. Thomas leads in the race for the ball, but it will be out on the half-forward line for Glenelg. And the Tigers have opened with tremendous confidence. A lot of pace being produced. Kernahan against Button with Weston over the top. Dermott went past. There's a free kick to Glenelg for a high tackle. And it will be Chris McDermott to take the kick on the half-forward line. Chris McDermott with the breeze at his back, going for distance. A high drop punt, searching the lip of the square. Button front man, Corns takes, is caught by Teal. Stemper works it out looking for Turble, who's caught, and it gets a free kick for a high tackle. Greg Turble on the half-back line, quickly to Teal, well shepherded, kicks to centre wing. In the wall of players, a good mark taken by Tate at centre wing. Robert Pake with Weston loose at centre half forward. Drives in towards that player. Kernahan's there also. Almost grabbed another one. Andrew Ace favoured by the bounce. Well trapped Brown. Marshall goes to ground and clear comes Jenkins as he was run down by Brown.
Straight into the open space across the half-forward line. Peter Lachlan versus Neville Caldwell. Beats both players and over the line. Bayside reshuffled this week. Looking for that enthusiasm, looking for pace and aggression. Carey with a double sweep, out wide, chance, Lachlan, grab, down, and the Tigers really tackling brilliantly in the opening 3 or 4 minutes of this game. Man at the moment. That man is Paul Weston, captain of the Tigers. Goes with a low, wobbly punt kick, looks towards Corns, won't find him. Chance for Copping, tap forward, bit of grabbing going on. Marshall punched the ball down towards half forward. A good attempt by Beatty, can't quite control it. Robbie Walter then receives to the left foot. Oh, Johnny Payne to the crumbs. He pops it up and slams straight through the centre. Goal number 2, Norwood yet to score.
Well, that's good positive football coming from Glenelg. They're certainly in a much better frame of mind than they were last week when Port Adelaide took them apart in the early stage. Good persistent running by Marshall. A good trap then by Beatty. Worked out nicely. Painter to throw over. And Walter's kick falling into the arms of Painter, who had the face of goal at his mercy. Kicks his first, the second for Glenelg, and they lead by 2 goals.
McDermott still looking a little sick with that blow around the nose, but he's inside the square waiting for Corns. Button. Problems with that bruised heel. Looks to be okay today. McDermott, the hurried kick forward. The hurried again by Brown. Tumbles one. Walter, coughing, has support. The left foot. He's upset, but he's put it straight across the face of goals. Tumbles over the line. Out of bounds. Score. Glenelg, 2 kicks for those 2 goals. Norwood yet to score. We've played 6 minutes of the first term.
Chris Beatty lining up in the forward pocket to contest against Button. Tap back nicely to Copping, fed to Weston. Back further to McDermott. The snap for goal is offline. 1 point the result. Glenelg on 2 goals, 1, 13 points, and Norwood are yet to open their account.
Bruce Winter played a superb game last week. Nice looking kick, starts this game well. Kernahan can't control it. In hard, Stamper, wide, Teal. Andrew Aish, harried by Brown, close to the line. The left footer forwarded. Well smothered by Snelt McFarlane, but gets pushed while doing it. And the veteran will take his kick from the half-forward flank.
Indicative that McFarlane has been given the job to look after Aish. Into the forward pocket, Noble drops what he should have taken, allows Corns in, and he puts the ball out of play on the forward. Graham Corns has opened up on a half-forward flank. Bob Pake at centre-half back. And the other important change is McFarlane as a ruck rover to run against Michael Aish. Nicholson a high ball to the half-back line. Wall of players up. Button in front couldn't pull it down. Copping was there also. The kick from Andrew Aish goes out of play on the full. And Copping quick to seize the opportunity, looking for Weston. Gallagher there with him. Weston circling. Faces up. Marshall versus Jenkins. And Jenkins' attempt to smother has been penalised. And David Marshall will line up in front of goal in the true centre-half forward spot. David Marshall. Normally a very reliable kick. Or a floater that goes in, won't clear the pack. And another point as Glenelg moves to 2 goals to 14 points. And the Redlegs yet to open their account.
And what a good battle that will be. Jenkins and Marshall, both skilled players, very quick and aggressive. Bruce Winter, full back, the Redlegs. He'll be looking towards the defensive flank. Nice looking drop punt, carry 60 metres. A huge mass of players. At the bottom, Gallagher. Teal. Trying to pick up Michael Annie. He goes towards the half-forward line. Front spot again, that's the only place to be, and this is David Holst. Relatively quiet game last week, started well this week. Drop punt, beautifully done, Robbie Walter. Can't quite get to it, Bruce Winter can. Quite glad to see it go over the line for a throw-in. In front of the scoreboard that reads, Glenelg have got all the score on the board at the moment. 2-2, Norwood yet to score.
Button with Beatty taking the front spot. Noble's caught. Button over the top of it again. Hands and knees. Bursting through. Gallagher gets the loose ball. Wide to Turnbull. He goes up to the centre wing area, searching for Fosdyke versus Holt. Well touched away by Holt. Gives himself the run of the ball. A good kick goes up to the half-forward area. Off Gallagher's hands, but Nicholson there, reliable as ever. Goes the distance into the open spot. Hartfield leads Seabohm. Jenkins coming in to help. The pass is well set up by Brendan Hartfield, but Marshall in there to take the ball out. Did it well and saves for a throw in between centre wing and half-forward for Norwood.
Gathering Michael Annie versus Pate. Straight down Holt's throat, onto Weston, forwarded to Painter, looked at Carey, changed the mind and goes long. Walter, Winter. Almost Walters, couldn't quite control it. Noble, a clever tap out, it's allowed McDermott in. He hooks around the corner. It's a terrific bounce, gets an enormous off break to it. Through for a point. So the Tigers at the moment absolutely bombarding that square. 2-3, Norwood yet to score.
Bruce Winter. Getting good distance with a drop punt. Kernahan's well positioned but couldn't pull it in. He has. A good mark. No, Carey's in the middle of it. Peter Carey, call to play on. Goes further into the pocket. Stemper versus Copping. Carey backing up, does it well. Kernahan's created the loose man, goes into the pocket. A wall of players, corns up high. Couldn't take it. Noble's caught. Oh, bad fluke. A shocking blue as McDermott sees the opportunity, and that's the third Glenelg goal.
Oh, dear me, the one player that you can't afford to let stand unopposed in a square as a rover, and that was brilliantly done. Carey caught in two minds here, went to play on, then had to struggle his kick around onto the left foot. Copping was the man he was after. Stemper guarded against that. Carey back, on to Kernahan, the hurried left footer, and watch Corns flatten the pack. And at the back, Noble, a handball loose into the square. There's the shark, McDermott, 1 goal.
Norwood going into attack, Pake in the way. Ace trying to burst through. Turnbull takes it, feeds it to Thomas. He's flanked by Lachlan, but preferred to go alone and found the chest of Coleman, who repels with a long screw punt. The ball not bouncing well. Ace goes to ground. 2 high tackles go unnoticed. At centre wing, the umpire calls for a bounce. 12-minute mark of this first turn, and Glenelg lead by 21 points. Peter Carey to do battle against Button. Good to hit forward, off finds Weston. Danger as he goes long and high towards the square. The Norwood defenders back there. Winter didn't pull it in, and it's rushed through to hit the behind post for a throw-in.
Interesting umpiring interpretation then. Michael Ace ducking the head in the second tackle, and obviously played call on by umpire Schofield. Well, here's Button. Weston, ranging all over the place at the moment. Corns the hurried kick forward. Winter, not 10 metres, plays on, wide, Andrew Ace. Brown there also. What a valuable asset is young Peter Brown. He came from Fitzroy, played 50 games there, and now has 12 games for the Tigers against his name. Copping 27-11, Gallagher, having his hands full of Weston at the moment. Kernahan, down the hurried kick forward by Johnny Painter. McDermott again, what a first term he's having. That belt in the snows must have really fired him. The back almost, is it paid? Yes, says the umpire, corns the hands up. This big fella is Beatty, I think. Yes. Well-built athlete. Couldn't be in a better position. Directly in front, 10 metres out. Drop, punt, inevitable result. Yeah, no, it's not. 1 point, says... No, he doesn't. He says 1 goal and 5 goals, 3 the Tigers. Norwood yet to score.
Well, a 27-point lead at the 14-minute mark is a valuable lead for Glenelg. Coming in long and high there. The fist went, touched in between by a Norwood defender, yet the mark paid, and one would have to say that luck is going Glenelg's way at the moment. The sort of things that win finals, and with a 27-point break and the breeze at their back, their confidence is getting higher and higher.
McDermott, Corns, Weston, wait for Carey. Button, Thomas, He receives the tap. Wide. Jenkins overruns. Gallagher in the top. He's harried by Caldwell. In also there is Pate, and we must see a bounce.
The Glenelg ball handling much surer at the moment, and they're a little bit fleet of foot for Norwood, who are struggling to get to the pace of the game. But up high, free kick to Carey. Peter Carey really giving Glenelg the direct passage, well in top on ruck at the moment and virtually feeding the Rovers and ruck Rovers. Goes for distance. The lead came from Kernahan. A good mark taken in front by Michael Ace at centre wing. Goes quickly, long and high, searching out there for Lachlan versus Caldwell, who touched away well. Lachlan looking for the front spot. He hasn't got the ball and gets the free kick. The ironical cheer goes up as Lachlan looks to set up run, gives it to Andrew Ace. Oh, he was run down well by Brown. Corns trying to come clear, finds Holt, dropping the ball. Kick comes clear, finds McDermott, and Glenelg into attack through Holt.
With a booming punt kick down towards the half-forward flank. Nobody home for the Tigers, though. Hughes, wide. Jenkins, almost mown down by Robbie Walter, a long way away from full forward. The hurried kick forward, Michael Annie. Trouble, Hartfield, smothering the ball and holding it in the areas. Good football from the Norwood half-forward flanker, forcing this bounce. Fosdyke there, Carey, Johnny Painter waits for Carey to go up. Michael Annie, unopposed, Fosdyke. Wide, coming out, Palm, absolutely burst through. Brilliant handball, Gallagher. Is this the first score? Yes, for the Redlegs, but it's a minor one. 1 point. Sigh of relief from Coach Palm, I'll bet. 1 point on the board, trail Glenelg, 4-3.
A long kick from Coleman with this breeze at the back. Will hit the centre circle, button up high as it cleared his fingers. Kernahan did it well, fed it to Carey. The kick is through half forward where Copping leads in the race. Gets there quickly, and Nicholson takes the ball out for a throw-in, 20 metres from the right behind post. 17 minutes into this first term, 27 plays 1, Glenelg lead. Button taking front spot, Kernahan with him, tap down to Thomas, back to Teal, to Nicholson, switching flanks, but there's no one out there. Beatty, but Noble takes up the lead. Beatty in pursuit. Noble around Ace, gets the kick up to the centre wing area where McFarlane goes to ground. Ace got the fist to it. He leads in the race now as it's well done by Corns across the boundary line and a throw in on the Glenelg half-forward line.
Obviously McFarlane guarding Michael Ace very, very well. Andrew Ace beginning to be a danger at centre wing. Over the top, Fosdyke trying to come through. Corns can't do so. 5 is Carey. We'll see a bounce. McDermott really in the wars. He was the player last off the ground. 11, Gallagher directing traffic. He wants the tap, won't get it. It goes wide over the line in front of a crowd that could range up to about 25,000 so far to see this preliminary final. Norwood really done it the hard way through this major round. And yet, face the barrel at the moment. Here's Hughes. Centre wing. He'll be looking towards half forward. Goes wide to the flank. Oh, not well directed. And the two players come very strongly at McDermott. Once again, takes a strong mark. Plays on. The kick. Not well directed. Button. I said before, had trouble with that bruised heel. He goes wide. Fosdyke. Plays on quickly. Beautifully done. Good handball. Thomas. Long to the forward pocket. Big bunch of players there. Taken away by Pate. Picked up quickly. Ace. Over to Thomas. He weaves around. Pops the ball towards the forward pocket. Plenty of smothering going on. It goes wide. Down comes Marshall in the defensive position and clears for the Tigers.
Over to the side where he finds Jim LaHoo in the back pocket. Steadying, goes for distance. A good kick. Up to centre wing. Big mark by Carey. Quickly played on to Weston. Over to Kernahan. Holst was there. Kernahan elected to go to Walter, and he's marked at half forward. Robbie Walter. Certainly within distance with this breeze at his back. Favouring the drop punt. The distance appears to be there, so is the accuracy. Robbie Walter kicks the 5th goal for Glenelg and his first.
Well, what a change in games from last weekend to this one. Glenelg driving the ball long, picking out the player, kicking to advantage and making position beautifully. And Robbie Walters, good return to form. Here's Carey. Weston all over the place like the measles in the first term. Kernahan, very quiet last week. Brilliant so far. Walter, the comfortable mark, and a brilliant long goal.
Carey against Button, again gets the tap. Gallagher fumbling badly today. Fosdyke over to Jenkins. Through half forward. Oh, a shocking kick goes in as he looked for ace. Tapped it back nicely, but it found Corns. Glenelg defence sticking tight. In goes Fosdyke. Oh, well smothered. Ace in. Taps it over nicely to Hughes. He chips up one looking for Hartfield. Up high, Seabone! Great mark on Seabone. Going for distance to centre wing. A wall of players. Carey sets. Flicks it out the back, but Jenkins is there for Norwood. Hughes is taken down by Carey, but they go in looking for Lachlan. Marshall in. The kick up to the half-forward line. Stemper leads Copping. Still there, Stemper. Taken the ground. The tackle was applied by Holst. And Frank Stemper, obvious to see what happened as he tried to get through with the ball, and he will take the free ahead of half-back.
Oh, no, beg your pardon. What a change in attitude of the Tigers. They're burning at the moment, and Norwood really uncertain as to what they can do with them. As Button off, and Colasanti comes on for his run, first run for the day, and this is Stemper. Down towards his half-forward line. Ace. Good mark. There's his shadow, McFarlane. Obvious his task today. The drop punt. Down towards Barham. Coleman and Barham, good battle. Vady in there. Lahoo. Johnny Painter. Flicks it out. Weston. Had a brilliant first turn. Should have been kicking in danger. Down goes Fosdyke. Holding the ball, and I reckon that's the leveller.
John McFarlane, quick to move it to Holst. Goes for distance. Robbie Walter and Kernahan charge to the flank. Kernahan's there, trapping it. Walter swoops. Whips around. He's kicked goals from here before. It's floating in long and high to the square. And a good grab taken by Hugo Colasanti. Oh, bad play by Colasanti. There's some bad umpiring also. He couldn't have been standing the mark to come in from that angle. Well, they'll move to 5-4. Norwood on 1 point.
Yes, Colasanti making his presence felt straight away. Winter. Wide. Chance for Teal. Can't get to it. And because that ball wasn't touched, now will become a Glenelg ball or an infringement of rule, yes. And this looks to be Andrew Aish. Half-back flank. Not a good kick. It's low, not well directed. Beatty, the good attempt. Greg Turnbull trying to barge his way through, and wham! Straight into the big fella, Beatty. He won't get through him. And the big fella's from the half-back flank. A booming screw punt down towards full forward. Robbie Walter waits. He's at the back. Greg Nicholson. Experience allows him to do that. Chase the ball to the line, slam it over, and concede the point. 5-5, Norwood, 1 point.
34-point lead to Glenelg, and they're playing extremely well. Bruce Winter. Good distance for the drop punt. Colasanti from behind. Lahoo well up, gives it to Corns. Corns goes for distance. Into the lip of the square. Walter, dropped it out of the breadbasket, but backs up again, giving it to Brown. His snapshot at goal is out of play on the full, and the Redlegs under an enormous stretch at the moment. Get a sigh of relief. The kick will come from Malcolm Noble. 10 shots to 1 tells the story. Malcolm Noble gets good distance into the breeze. Fosdyke backing his judgment. Would have been better off on the ground as Marshall tries to work through. The strength of Teal almost telling out, and a bounce to take place inside half forward for Glenelg.
Yes, the red leg half-back line really under pressure at the moment. Corns not showing any sign of that shoulder injury. Vady. Colasanti down to Gallagher. He goes across the line. Well, brilliantly taken by Peter Brown, and he's well within his kicking distance. He kicks a good ball. from about 55, 60 metres out. The drop punt, beautifully placed. Nicholson was the first receiver as Carey, the defensive slam forward. There's Nicholson, down goes. McDermott issues one out, beautifully ridden by Paul Weston. Back to McDermott, who gave out the bump. Obviously called on by his captain. Delivered it beautifully for his second goal. 7-6, Norwood 3 points.
Peter Carey taking all before him in ruck, but this time Button gets the thump. The bounce favoured McDermott out into the path of Marshall, but Fosdyke leads, kicks into the pocket. Seaborn left it behind. Caldwell to ground, fed it out looking for Pake, gives it back to Coleman. He goes wide looking for the white line. Andrew H leads Brown. Ace to ground, well trapped but no help. Ace still there, Lahu in with him, and finally it's a bounce from the half-forward line of Norwood.
Good harrying and pressure then applied by Brown on Andrew Ace, a very skillful player. And so this bounce now forced. Pake flicks one back, beautifully done. Andrew Ace feints the hand pass, goes the kick. He's looking for Balm. He's charged from full forward. He gets one for his measure. Down he goes. In goes Carey. Wide to Caldwell. Nicholson the tackle. Coming strongly at it, Stemper. Oh, misses completely. In comes Copping. That was a flick pass. Pulled out by McFarlane. Tons of pressure at the moment. Danny Jenkins over the ball. And the Tigers playing like cats possessed at the moment. And Norwood really in a quandary how to handle this aggression at the moment. But jumping on the top of Carey, but Carey shepherded, taking the line of Button, and his kick will from be the centre of the square towards a very crowded half-forward line. Wobbly punt kick, difficult to control. McFarlane slaps it forward. Ace, Weston over the top, tagging all over the place. Untidy football, must see a bounce.
Ominous signs as Norwood trailed by 45 points and the light becoming very, very dark, which would indicate a build-up of rain. The breeze, in fact, has switched right around, and Glenelg now, who had the 5-goal breeze in the first term, have got it again in the second. Rain starting to pour down here at Football Park, and the task now really ahead of the Redlegs. On their half-forward line, tap away, McFarlane going for distance. David Holtz leads in the race for the ball. Into the shoot, Michael H. Holtz the error. Andrew H. cleverly through, gives it to brother Michael. That centre wing, Laughlin's loose. He drives for that player, finds him inside half-forward.
All the conditions against Norwood at the moment with this dramatic wind switch. They're kicking against the breeze and have done so now for these 2 terms. Greg Turnbull in the suicide pocket at Football Park. Very difficult spot to kick a major score from. That wind really swung around. Down comes the rain, up come the brollies, and here's a chance for Greg Turnbull. Drop punt, the wind blowing it straight across the face of goals. Still in play. Attempted hurry kick. Oh, Balm picked up Michael Annie. He goes around the corner, over the shoulder, goal!
Well, it's a good goal coming from Jim Michaelani, and Norwood's first goal coming at the 9-minute mark of the second term. And Turnbull doing the right thing, putting the ball in high. Jenkins, all a big attempt. Then out came Michaelani, hooked high over the shoulder. And Norwood, with everything going against them at the moment, trailing by 39 points.
And down comes the rain. What a leveller. Michael Annie, Marshall, Pake. Wide, again Marshall, flicking it out to the reliable Lahu. He's got time to balance and goes long. Now kicking with this breeze, a good 50 metres. McFarlane, Kernahan over the top of Teal. The handball quickly. Noble in trouble. The hurried hand pass, open space stuff. Brown with a soccer goal. He set up Kernahan in this forward pocket. If you can get it up, can't control it. Down goes Hughes, must receive the free.
Oh, bad mistake. Norwood in defence, making some bad errors at the moment. Graham Hughes up to the half-back line. Button one hand, Gallagher to kick forward. Dribbles up looking for Fosdyke. In pursuit is Holtz, and holding the ball is the result. David Holt, forward of his half-back line. Going for distance. Gets value. Gallagher drops what he should have taken and takes his teammate and Button to the ground. Copping on the deck. Wall of players there. There's a Norwood player on the bottom, and that's Michael Ace to take the free kick. Norwood forwards, again pulled well downfield. Ace goes short looking for Dunstan, who's fresh on the ground. He replaces Stemper, an uncalled for action by Dunstan, but he still maintains possession of the ball. Dunstan from centre wing. He's replaced Stemper. The kick to the half-forward line. Lachlan almost one-handed. Jenkins body over the ball. Fed out by Caldwell to Marshall. The hook around the corner. Corns and Weston there. Corns showing great pace. Weston drops into the hole. Corns goes for distance. The half-forward line. At the back is Malcolm Noble. He quickly moves it to Hughes. Into no man's land. And the white line will come up first for a throw-in inside Glenelg's half-forward line.
Yes, some indicators now. Ball handling errors by the Norwood players are really confidence sapping. On the other side, though, the Tigers really gathering confidence. Every movement of the ball. Players that we saw very little of last week are now becoming very impressive players right at the moment. Beatty against Button. Copping waits at the front. Aish against McFarlane. Coming away, Greg Nicholson took a heavy bump only moments ago. He looks okay. The drop punt to centre wing. Taken out Michaelani. In strongly. Again, Marshall having a good first half. The left footer round the corner. Brown, Kernahan, Weston waits, tapping it forward. Chance, Thomas, the left foot, down towards half forward. Pulse, and he's played a good game at half-back. Strong, barrel chest, tons of strength and aggression. He'll go long with this breeze. Beautiful screw punt, travels 50 metres. Down towards Kernahan. Teal, the good spoil, tries to burrow it out, does so. Button, the high hand pass, all sets up Thomas, taken away by Painter, into the open space. Here's a battle of the speedsters. Winter, Walter and Nicholson, and the hurried kick. A real water slosher, that one. Danny Jenkins throws it out, looks for the free, doesn't get it. Marshall, again Painter. All back to Copping and on the chest. Looks dangerous for the Redlegs at the moment. Constant pressure, hunting in packs, running in lines, and the Tigers look the goods. Drop punt, low. Almost Carey, not quite. Picked up beautifully McDermott. He's thrown, he's got to have been tackled high and wins the free. This man spent most of the time on the ground. Came into tons of attention in the first term. Plenty of courage though, bit of fatherly advice from John McFarlane. His job's to kick the thing straight, 10 metres, and about a 60-degree angle. Rain just lightly falling at the moment. The drop punt, all goal umpires run away, but it'll do. He's got 3, 8 goals, 6, Norwood 1-3.
And Glenelg again get away to a 45-point lead. Teal front spot there, McDermott through, and the high tackle applied by Button for the 3rd goal to go on the board from the boot of Chris McDermott. And Glenelg in full flight. Opened with confidence, the ball bouncing and everything going their way, with a change of the breeze now in the second quarter, all adding to the bonus.
Oh, and a change of light too, getting quite dark. A lot of waves on the lake as Button comes in strongly, takes on Beatty. The ball still inside the square. Untidy football, must see another bounce.
New battle. Brady, that's the Norwood bench, and there's plenty of concern on the face of those parties there. Andrew Ace bursts through, gives it to Button. Well smothered by McFarlane. The kick comes from Painter now. Glenelg go into attack. Stemper out. Pull down from behind. And it will be Malcolm Noble to take this free kick on the half-back line. Noble with distance. The ball holding up, half-forward line. Lachlan almost. Pake bursting through, odds of 3-1. He's still there. Gallagher the hand pass. Bodywork by Fosdyke. Through comes Pake again. Good play by the big man. Andrew Ace robs him. Tried to work it out to Barnes. Barnes got no backup. Pips into the corner. And the ball beats Hartsfield out for a throw-in 10 metres around from the behind post as Hugo Colasanti enters the arena and Neil Button to the bench for a rest. Tap away by Beatty. Hartfield to Thomas, set him up, dribbles into the corner. Oh, falling at the crucial moment was Baum, and McFarlane comes clear for Glenelg looking for Copping.
Almost to him, straight past Dunstan and Copping. Here's a battle of the speedsters. Look at them go. In come Hughes to lend a hand. Robbie Walters, the late arrival, did it well too. Beautiful tackle. Down he goes, and the umpire calls that holding the ball. Robbie Walter. Good aggression then by a full forward. Over the top, Kernahan tries to shovel it out. Weston's the busy player. Danny Jenkins, back into the pack he goes. That's dangerous. Absolutely no support whatsoever, but he's been tackled high, says umpire Argent. And so he will receive a pretty doubtful sort of free. The drop punt, short, wide, out past Hughes, over the line, and that's an indication of the Norwood confidence at the moment, really not using the ball well, not finding very many teammates prepared to help out when the hard stuff starts. The hurried kick forward. Completely beats Beatty. Picked up well, though, by Lachlan. The hurried kick forward. It's cut out by McFarlane. He's got plenty of time to look. Spears one on the Marshall. Corner of the square. He'll look to the goal square. Goes long. There's Carey, the big fella. Discipline spoil. Almost popping. And the mark's going to be paid to Elastic Arms. Hands like buckets. Arms like an octopus. Coming from the back of the pack, a good mark. Geez, he's kicked a bag of goals this season. Dangerous always, accurate. And this one, not much of a job for him. Drop punt, splits the centre. And Glenelg going the merry way. Copping 2, 9 goals, 6, Norwood 1-3.
And a 51-point lead, which is the most important factor. Marshall going in long and Copping. Every picture tells a story. And another goal to Glenelg takes them clear on a commanding 51-point lead with 18 minutes played in this, the second term.
So, Colasanti, his first run in this second term inside the square against Beatty. Corns in there also, Gallagher. Beatty, an unopposed tap. Johnny Painter busy, no, that's McDermott. Out to Weston. Beatty rolled down, push, says umpire Schofield, and the big fella will take his kick from the centre square.
Beatty, long with distance to the half-forward line. Carey bolts, good one-hander. Good mark by the big man. My word, he's played well today. Took Norwood apart in the first term in ruck and put Glenelg on the correct path. Goes with a screw punt. It is a boomer of a kick. Oh, magnificent kick from the boot of Peter Carey. That's his first, the 10th for Glenelg.
Well, we've seen players kick goals like that before this season. Memories of Paul Harradine from the Panthers, booming kicks like that. The one-hander by the Gentle Giant was a good mark, and he put a kick equally as good with that and really speared the centre. He's a big fella, stands about 6'5". Look at the distance. A heavy ball, and then this screw punt that just seemed to keep going. Rode with the wind, straight through the centre. Beautiful goal.
From the centre, wall of players there, and it'll be a repeat performance at the centre circle. Glenelg with complete endeavour. Beatty versus Colasanti. Norwood's way down to Turnbull. Well smothered by Corns. In front, Andrew Ashe. Off the deck, Corns tried to go, missed, and the free kick sorted out to go to Norwood and Graham Hughes. From the centre of the ground, defensive side of the circle, to the half-forward line, the ball holding up. Michaelani paid the mark. Jim Michaelani with the forward line all down on the half-forward line and a miserable kick. Real excuse. Marshall bolts clear. Flanked by Corns. Up to the half-forward line, into the open spot. Copping, and he's got another mark. Stephen Copping at the true centre half-forward spot, and a 5-goal breeze at his back. Two goals so far. A drop punt. The distance is there. The accuracy is not as it hits the woodwork. And Glenelg moved to 10 goals 7, Norwood on 1 goal 3.
Oh, desperation in the Tiger game at the moment. Really willing to put the body everywhere. As the kick goes to Fosdyke from Winter. Out wide, half-back flank, not well directed. The wind, ironically, has switched so that the Tigers have been able to kick for the first half with a very strong breeze. Now travelling right to left on your screen. Man with the ball, Marshall. Drop punt. Across the half-forward line. At the back again, Copping. 3 marks, 3 minutes. Dangerous player. The mustachioed Copping, this time, is about 5 metres closer than his last kick, and he donged the woodwork with the last one. Lead on from Marshall, that's ignored. Shaping for the drop punt. Oh, that's not too good off the boot. Wobbles away, down towards Weston, picked up McDermott. Again, he hits the turf. Again, he gets the boot to it. Goal number 4, 11 goals 7, Norwood 1-3.
Only 3 goals were scored after half-time, 2 to Norwood in the third term and 1 to Glenelg in the final term, but it was enough to have Glenelg in by 55 points, and so they go in next week against Port Adelaide, and certainly a revival on last week's performance. But the funny thing about it, though, the match went very similar way to both last week's games, where they were virtually decided in the first term. McDermott scored 4, Copping 2, and a number of singles for Glenelg, and so far as Norwood were concerned, there were 4 singles from Michael Aish, Hartfield, Fosdyke and Michael Annie. In the reserves match, the preliminary final there, Glenelg had another good win, 47 points over Central District, 2014 134 to Central District 13-9 87, and so Glenelg go into the grand final in the reserves, and so it's a real Port and Glenelg day at Football Park next Saturday.